Hello and welcome to the round 3 recap of the Sinquefield Cup, brought to you by Grandmaster Max Dlugy. And today's game of the day will be Wesley against Alexander Grischuk, one of the 2 decisive games of the round. After the moves c4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6. Normally Grischuk plays e5 and gets into really complicated waters after moves like e3, followed by d4, but here he decided to play knight f6, and after g3, g6, bishop g2, bishop d6, and not bishop g7, d6 instead, castles, bishop g7, d4, takes on d4, black plays bishop d6. That's really the reason for playing d6 early on instead of castling, to allow this move for bishop d7. And this will lead to a slightly worse position, a slightly worse endgame, which usually should be holdable by black, but again, white will have a slight push. So the strange thing here is that Grischuk actually took quite a long time to get to this position and to and continued to get into time pressure, bigger and bigger time pressure as the game wore on, and that's really part of the problem that kept nagging him during this game. So let's take a look at what happened. White played b3, a very natural move. Black captured on d4 and played bishop c6, clearly indicating the desire to equalize by changing bishops as well. White just played bishop b2, black castles, and now a fine move by white, knight d5, clarifying that he is either going to have a bind or will get the bishop pair. Black takes on d5. That obviously creates the possibility of having a weak bishop on g2, which will be looking at its own pawn on d5, and yet the possible advantages of a bishop pair cannot be underestimated. And so white takes with a pawn, and black plays queen a5, again taking quite a long time to even get to this position, as black could also try to exchange knights right here by playing, for example, knight e8. After knight e8, queen d2, bishop takes b2, queen takes b2. The real problem for black is how does he stop white from controlling the c8 square. For example, after knight f6, rook fc1, queen a5, queen c3, white takes over the c file, and that endgame will be quite advantageous for white. So it's not that simple. In fact, that's what Grischuk had to think about, how to make the right usage of the pieces to control the c file. Let's see how he handles this. He plays queen a5, and white plays a fine move, bishop c3. The natural rook fc1, of course, will be met by simply knight h5, winning the bishop. So white has to spend time on this move, bishop c3. Now, I thought queen a3 was the most interesting choice for black, trying to combine that with the move a5, and but Grischuk plays queen a6, attacking the pawn on e2, and after queen d2, plays rook fc8. White plays rook fc1. Another possibility was just to play rook ac1. Clearly, white is inviting rook takes c3, rook takes c3, knight d7, saying that it shouldn't be a problem, as white will take control over the c file, followed by bishop h3. So Grischuk decides that that's too dangerous and plays queen b5. The idea is to both hit the d5 pawn, stop a4 by hitting b3, and to start by counterplay on the queen side with a5, a4. And a very nice move, I think. White played rook a b1, which I thought was best, and black played a5 with the counterplay that I mentioned. Now, I thought the best